Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I've got to talk about something that's just absolutely crushed my soul, and that is to do with exclusive equipment. Now, this is something I actually never knew. I've spoken to a lot of people who have been playing for over a year on PTR, and they didn't know about it. Now, I'm sure there are some people that knew, but it's a situation that we haven't really got into before with the majority of players to be able to check it. And that is, if you didn't know, and this is something we've really got to consider when we look to Celestial Hypogeans in the future, especially support Celestial Hypogeans in my opinion. So when we go to your exclusive equipment, you can see my Talene, she is Mythic Plus. I want to get her to plus 15 so I can get the revival on an ally. I click Enhance. I need to have her at Supreme to unlock this. Now, this is something, like I said, stupidly, I never realized this because it's a situation that for free-to-play players, which are the ones which will get a character to Mythic Plus, sort of leave them there, and then, you know, put further investment into the exclusive equipment. I don't know if I've been saying signature item, I get it confused with AFK Arena, but the exclusive equipment, every character in the game pretty much, I don't think there's one character besides Phaesto and Talene. Every other character gets the key unlock that most people are going for effectiveness at either plus 5 or plus 10. And it's something I didn't notice with Phaesto because not many free-to-play people were going for him, and the whales that go for him normally just take him all the way straight to Supreme Plus. So I have not seen anyone mention this, and like I said, everyone I asked didn't know about it. But now we're in this situation with Talene and Phaesto where their key ability unlock is at plus 15, but to get to plus 15, you have to be at Supreme. Now, this changes, like I said, the way we look at the value in Celestial Hypogeans. Now, to be fair, with damage dealing or tanking Celestial Hypogeans, you kind of think you want to go to Supreme Plus for them anyway, because, you know, that's how you get the stat throughput for them to be able to actually, you know, deal more damage or tank more damage and stuff like that. But what my plan with Talene was, because Mythic Plus is a good level to get to for a free-to-play in my opinion. So my plan was going to go all the way into the red, use all of my red upgrade stones as well, and get her signature item as high as possible to sort of alleviate some of the stat loss that I've got by not having her Supreme Plus, like some of my 4 faction characters. But now I actually have to go ahead and get her to Supreme, which is another 2 copies that I have to get just so I can unlock the added ability on her exclusive equipment to give my ally the revive. Now, once again, it's not the end of the world for me, because taking her to Supreme, I'm happy to put the 2 extra copies in to get the extra stats out of it anyway, but it's just frustrating that this is why every other character in the game, like even if we go to characters like Rainier, for instance, if we go to his exclusive equipment, obviously, Rainier's big one is just unlocking his exclusive. But to get the additional effect, it unlocks at level 3, which is plus 10. And then always with every other character, they get the key upgrade on their exclusive equipment on either level 2 or level 3. And then normally level 4 is just a stat increase. But I noticed with Phaesto, they changed his to be the higher one. And this appears to be why, so that they can entice you into going to at least Supreme to unlock that. But once again, I did like the calculations on how many summons we're getting and stuff like that, and if we're looking at getting like 8 to 10 copies of a Celestial Hypogean based on pities per season, and they're releasing 3 of them, well, now that one that we need to get, like now we're looking at getting one of them to a viable option of Supreme if you want to get the full functionality out of their exclusive equipment. So as we go forward with other characters, this is something we're really going to have to consider. So now if you're building Talene and you want that revive, you are going to have to get 10 copies of her. Now, once again, with a damage dealer, it's kind of okay. Like, I don't feel too bad about having to go to 10 copies of Talene, because when I get to Supreme, it's just going to give me more stats. Supreme Plus, I'll probably skip because that's another 4 copies. But with a support, like for instance, if Rainier had his additional effect unlocked through plus 15, it wouldn't be too much of an issue because that's not his core functionality. The core functionality is the damage amplification that he gets when he unlocks his exclusive equipment. But let's say we get a new character who's a support Celestial Hypogean, kind of like Rainier, and instead of having that core functionality locked behind the base exclusive equipment, it's now locked behind the 15. Now you're looking at 10 copies for a support character, which is a lot steeper. So just to note, when we do go ahead and look at Celestial Hypogeans and investment in the future, and it's something I'm going to have to really weigh up when I finally get my video done about suggestions on Talene, we're going to have to really consider these types of things. Now, for me, I am just going to go ahead and get my Talene all the way to Supreme and invest in her. I planned to invest pretty heavily into her anyway because, you know, she is my first Celestial Hypogean that I've built on this account, and I'm really enjoying her. But like I said, I just wanted to let you guys know about that because I had not seen anyone talk about it, and I had not seen anyone get into that pickle until now because, like I said, Freyasto free-to-play weren't really going for, and whales who are going for these units and dumping into them are normally going to Supreme Plus anyway, so it was like this pickle that I'd never seen happen, and with 4 faction heroes, no one's really taking them to plus 15 unless you're a whale and you've already got them at Supreme Plus. So it was a really frustrating thing for me when I was trying to get that, and now I can't do it because I've got to wait to get summons. Now, if you wanna see what's going to tilt me even further, is the fact that if we go here to the Stargazing Station, in the new event, there is one more summon that I can get, one more Stargaze summon. And then after the weekly reset, because they've reduced it down to 3, I believe it is, for Legend Arena, I'm going to get 4 more. And then I'm going to have to wait a whole nother week just to get that additional 1 Stargazer to get my Talene copy. So that's where we're at. I do have enough guild coins to get 1 copy, but then I need to pity that next copy. And then I will be able to have her at Supreme. And that's kind of where we're at. But like I said, just something to really note. But I want to take you guys in and show you, because I have been doing a bit more testing with Talene as well. And dude, I have been loving her. As you can see, I have not been in the top 20 in my server since the season started, and I got, you know, a bit behind, but now we are managing to actually push in there. Now, there is taken still 14 hours left, so people may level up, but in that time, I can level up too and hopefully have a good attack. But I have been using her. If you go ahead and we take a look at mine here, you can see we are using the Talene in the Croaker here. And she's putting in a bit of work. Now, I tried this team with taking Talene out and putting in my, what's his face? My Corrin. And it was about, I think it was about 3 mil less damage. Now, I've experimented with a fair few teams. This is currently my best team. Obviously, I don't have the Mythic Plus Rainier. If you do, he's probably still going to be better in here. But what I am really loving with Talene is her sort of versatility in that she's just solid in a ton of places in the game, which is absolutely fantastic. But let's go ahead and I'll show you guys like the kind of thing that she's doing in Croaker here. If we go to mine, let's go here and go replay. But yeah, she is working super well. So the thing with Croaker that she does is she like keeps everyone well topped off. Now, I did try using, what's his face, Corrin instead of Coco in this one, but it just didn't work out quite as well. So I've tried a bunch of different formations. This is still turning out to be my best. But you can see here in Croaker, I still have it so that Thorin is getting killed. Because if Talene keeps getting killed, then she just keeps having time to reset, which is less optimal. I did try having her get killed instead of Thorin and having Thorin for amplification. Like I said, I tried dropping Thorin as well for what's his face? For Corrin, but this just turned out to be my best one. Now, the unfortunate thing on Croaker is she does get knocked down by the swipe and she has to reset, but in general, she's been working pretty well for me. She puts in decent damage. She provides a good chunk of sustain as well. And yes, she's just been pretty solid. And like I said, I've been absolutely loving her as that unit that's just absolutely solid everywhere. Now for PvP, I think it's going to be even better once I get her to 15 exclusive equipment and Supreme. And I think then she's going to do a lot better on top of that. But as you can see, like she's doing not too bad. And you can see here, my damage is 25.2, and to get top 10, it's 28.6. So I do have a fair way to go, but it's not too bad, and I'm pretty happy with where my account is sort of leveling out to with the addition of Talene. Like I said, she's a pretty solid unit, and I feel like she's just good everywhere. Like even though something like Rainier is like sort of just better at straight bossing, you know, going to get you those scores and bosses, I feel like Talene is just that unit. Like I feel like I want to bring her into every battle everywhere I go as a free to play, because I don't have every option. It's kind of like, you know, Freyasto, you know, very high deficit pushing. Freyasto, you know, you want Freyasto for that tanking. So he's going to specialize in that. You know, bossing, you're going to get the Rainier specialization. To be fair, Scarlator is another unit that's pretty splashable. But I don't know. For me, Talene just feels so good to play, and she's been been so comfortable. But I have a few people that I do want to chat to, and before I make my full video on recommendations on pulling and stuff like that, because it is a big decision that you got to make, and a lot of people will be making that decision after they've already probably built Rainier, and then they're going to start gradually building copies into her, if that's what they want to do. So I do want to get really concise thoughts around the Talene, but once again, now we will have to be considering the fact that if you do want to get her to the fact that she has a revive for an ally, you are going to need 10 copies instead of the 8. I really don't like this system, honestly. I just think it's really frustrating that I feel like if you get to the stage where you unlock this, you should be able to just upgrade it. Like, you've unlocked it. Let me just put my resources into it. Don't gate me. What I'm really hoping is that I'm not capped at 15 once I get to Supreme, and then like I need Supreme Plus to go beyond 15. That would really tilt me, because I feel like this is the thing that's locked behind Supreme Plus. Plus 15 is the thing that's locked behind Supreme. Please let me go beyond so I can dump all of my red ones into her as well and just get as many stats as I can. I feel like once I got her to Supreme and then I put all of my reds into her, then I get a good stat alleviation of not having a Supreme Plus. So then I save 4 copies to go into my next Celestial Hypogean, and then I still have some decent stat throughput with my Talene for her damage and her healing. But you know, it is what it is. But I just wanted to let you guys know, dude, we are stacking up the savings here. We're up to 124. We're up to 76,000 diamonds, dude. Give me the Graveborn Healer. Hopefully he's good enough for me to warrant pulling, because, dude, I need to start pulling something. But anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. Apologies for not picking up on that sooner, but like I said, it's that weird situation that I'd never really seen someone ever talk about, because people don't really get into that position. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.